unnecessary hesitations. Okay, so in order to be fluent, you have to speak continuously, or let's say consistently. Again, you have to be spontaneous in your responses. What this one means is that as soon as the examiner has finished asking you the question, you are expected to start talking. You don't be mute and not saying anything, even for a split second. If you do that, you'll be seen as hesitating, and that will make you appear disfluent, and it can affect your band score. So you also, like I said, you have to avoid hesitation. Okay. Maybe you are thinking, you are trying to look for ideas. As you do that, you don't have to be quiet. There are things you do as you try to process thought. All of that, if you join our classes, we will teach you. There are about 4 things that you can do as you process thought, okay? And number 4, if you want to be fluent, you have to expand your answers. One thing that makes people this fluent is a lot of self-correction. They make lots of mistakes and slips, and they have to come back to correct them. IELTS is able to, your examiners are trained to be able to dichotomize slips, or even like differentiate slips from regular mistakes, real mistakes, okay? So you have to be able to try as much as possible to avoid real errors that will warrant you coming to correct yourself, all right? And you try to expand your answers to, and that will be for it under fluent. Okay, so number 5 under fluency, you have to speak effortlessly. You don't have to be seen struggling, although it is much of audio than visual. But if you listen to somebody and they're struggling to talk, you can hear. And if they are fluent and they're free, you also can hear. So kindly try to speak effortlessly. All right. So we move on to what coherence means. So this one is for fluency. Okay. Very lastly, you have to learn how to pause correctly. So as we talk, we pause. Pauses are not everywhere in speech, but they are at appropriate places. Try to use pauses or use pausing, the act of pausing appropriately at their respective or their needed places. So let's look at coherence. Coherence basically means is your ability to make your speech easily understood. So what can you do that can make me easily understand you and not ask questions or not be at sea as you talk? First of all, if you want to be easily understood, you have to answer questions directly. Okay, there is directly, but I omitted that one. So answer questions directly. If it's a yes or no kind of answer, let the examiner know whether it's a yes or a no. Then beyond that, you can go ahead to explain. Do not go circumnavigating for a while before you come to answer the question. And some people even end up not stating their opinion as to whether it's a yes or a no for that question asked them. So if you want to be understood, just don't state your point yes or no, explain. So explain your point, give reasons for your chosen stance, okay? Again, you can buttress your explanation and your chosen stand with examples. That often personal examples are better and they make your whole speech very easily understood. Again, if you want to be understood, you must learn to connect your sentences with cohesive devices or even like connectors. What are cohesive devices? Examples of these devices are what you see on your screens now. First, therefore, so, however, and the like, okay? So don't make sentences which are not interrelated. You must make sure that they are interrelated. When you say therefore, you are trying to express cause and effect. So that means that you've said something before, and because of that thing, by dint of that thing, another thing that you're about to say is the case. So therefore, we'll make it easy for your listener to understand what you're saying. So, and, however, all these things have a special relationship they portray, or they are used to express certain ideas in your speech, and they help you get easily understood. So basically, under assessment criteria 1, we have fluency and coherence. Let me give you a clear example of fluency and coherence. Let's say that your examiner has asked you, do you like sports? Okay. Or do you do any sports? Okay. Do you do any sports? What's supposed to be your answer? Of course, it's either a yes or a no. But don't say no, I don't like sports and end there. You have to continue. If you end there, you are not being fluent because you are not expanding your answers. And the moment you're not expanding your answers, it is deemed as if you are not good in speech. So you're trying to be dodgy by avoiding errors. You see, if you talk at
You have
length,
8 minutes remaining.
okay, so no, I don't like sports. You go ahead and say that I'm not very active. Sorry, I'm not a very active person, and I've never liked physical activity since my childhood. Okay, but you see, but is a creative device trying to give concession. Okay, but that means that despite what I've already said before, but I love to play intellectual games instead. For example, I find chess very interesting and comfortable to play. Okay, so by this is a good answer. It's not just yes or no. It's going ahead to explain, and it has given examples. So your next assessment criterion is what we call grammatical range and accuracy. And here we want to look at the appropriateness of your tenses. We want you to ensure the correct use of concord. You want to be able to vary your sentences. Don't use only simple sentences. Use complex, compound, and compound complex sentences. Also, again, you must use both voices. In English grammar, when we talk about voice, we have the passive voice and the active voice. Active voice says, let's say, uh, uh, Kofi killed the boy, okay, or killed the cat. The passive form will be the cat was killed by Kofi. So you want to use both of these varieties, just to prove that you are an advanced user of the language. So we have lexical resource. Lexeme come from word. Okay, lexeme means word. So by lexical resource, IELTS is only trying to assess how much vocabulary you have. Okay, so do you have enough vocabulary? How do you prove this? You can prove that you have enough vocabulary by not being repetitive of some phrases or some words. You must not repeat words or phrases. Use their synonyms, okay, throughout your speaking. Again, if you want to show that you have lots of vocabulary, you have to try not to use examiners' exact words, paraphrase examiners' words. IELTS is a lot about, it has much to do with paraphrasing. Okay, so later when you join us, we'll let you know what paraphrasing is. I don't have time to do all of that. Again, use apt register. Register talks about the specific and appropriate jargons, or even like terms used in every field. Lawyers or the field of law has its own terms. Health has its own terms. Those of us who are into ministry, we also have our own terms. All right. When I come to class and I want to explain something, I would say I want to do an